Hello! So now we're going to paint this picture, and I'm using this brush which is called a cat's tongue or a pointed oval. So one of the most important things for me when I paint this picture is to keep it really loose, almost messy, and not care too much. Now something I should have done before I begin is just a few pencil lines. So let me find my pencil. Oh, just a minute, I've got it. Here it is. And we're off. So here's a pencil line here. And one here for the river bank. Here's the river. There's a rock, another rock. And then here, the foreground bank. I should have maybe done that bigger, but that's okay. It will do. So this brush is actually a bit small for this size of space, but that's okay. Maybe not that small. So first of all, I want a bluish colour. So let's get my cobalt blue. I recommend another blue because cobalt blue is a bit expensive. Normally I use phthalo blue, but I've run out. So let's have a look at that. That will do, but it needs to be bluer. Yeah, there we go. And then we want to make it darker. So blue and a touch of red. Wow. And then a touch of brown because it's too pure. We want it to be a bit grey. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. And then, yeah, this brush is a bit small and it's taken me a while. Oh, and look at that. No mountain looks like that. So just correct that. Okay. And then just, there we go. Now I'm going to try and paint this whole scene in 2 washes because I'm lazy. And also it helps to make the whole video process simple. And it's good for you. It just makes it simple. There we go. Now that's too nice in my opinion. And I could be wrong. Probably am. So this is just water. And I'm just going to make some marks like this. And in a way, I'm going to wreck it. I'm going to spoil it, you could say. I never would have done this. And I'm even going to do some splatter. I'll wipe up this though, because I want this bit to be a beautiful yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to get make a darker mix. Blue, red, yellow ochre. Okay, and here we go. This mountain's beginning to come down too far. Okay, there we go. And it still ended up looking fairly neat. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to do blue, hopefully a pure blue, for the water here. And I want to begin off light. And then slowly make it more intense, a bit thicker. So, you know, more pigment to water. And I know I'm supposed to do it in the palette, but the palette's a bit full. Okay, there we go. That's nice. this edge is a bit rubbish. Okay. And now it's time for the yellow. Okay. I keep wobbling around. But anyway, let's work with it. Let's work with it. Okay. So, I need to get some blue. And I'll need that later. Oh, and I might need a little bit of yellow running out of that. Okay. Ideally, you should always have a big blob of the paint you're going to use already in the palette, so you're good to go. So let's do this lovely yellow. Now, I'm mostly going to use just pure yellow and like this, but you see these white gaps? I really want to do that, and it's not as easy as it seems. You'll find out. There's just something about the way our brain is that just says fill the whole lot. You know, it's like just completely cover it. And I'm even going to get the yellow, and I'm going to do something very naughty here, and I'm going to go into that blue like that. Look at that. Oh dear, I've messed it up. You need to have this devilish, don't care kind of attitude, because look, I went into the river there with the yellow, but the painting still looks good. So don't be too careful all the time. And I've left a bit of white, but not a lot. So, and this yellow is a bit dirty. Okay. I will go around these rocks, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much actually. It's not really that important. Okay. Oh, and we don't really want that. So we can stop that just by making the paper flat. Okay, and that's it now. It's just a bit too nice. So what I'm going to do is get pure water and just put a few dabs in, like that, and mess it up a bit. A few splatters. Look, even went there. And look how much we've covered in just this one wash. And I hopefully think I can finish the painting in the second wash. But now we need to leave this to dry. In fact, maybe this is dried already up here. But let's leave it to dry. Okay, the paint has dried. And now we're going to paint everything else in one go. So these trees first, then this background, maybe this tree, and then around the riverbank, and finally this big tree. So it's a lot, but let's take our time and have some fun and not be too careful. So get some of my cobalt blue. And maybe a touch of yellow ochre. And some more. It's gone quite hard, so I really have to dig in to get it. Okay, there we go. So here we go. So this brush is just absolutely wonderful for painting fir trees. And then I'll start the other one, which is going to be lower down, about here. I haven't left myself much space for the tree here, so I'm having a think. No, I'll do it here. I was thinking of doing it here. Okay, and then let's make this darker. A touch of blue and red mixed together. And this is drying out super quick. I don't know why. So let's just spray it. Keep it alive. Okay. There we go. That will do. And then let's do the background. Maybe blue. And this whatever's here, it's basically just red and yellow ochre. A little bit of a more greeny colour. If I mix it in with that. And then water it down. Because this is in the distance, so it's a bit fainter. I wouldn't call myself a delicate watercolor artist, so I just accept that. I mean, sometimes if I can be a bit delicate, it's fun, but to be honest, I think it's better to be heavy-handed, because you make more mistakes probably, but you learn quicker, I think. Oh yeah, that looks quite nice. I don't know whether to leave those tiny bits of white or not. Maybe not. Oop. This has dried out a bit too quickly. And then down here, just the borders of the fields. So this is mostly yellow ochre, and I want it to be a bit lighter, this, and a bit drier, so I'm wiping it on the rag, getting rid of that excess water, and then I've more chance of a dry brush effect, which we just got there. I don't think I really have to worry about shadows, because I think they'd mostly get lost in the grass. I might do this. Okay, this is where it could go wrong, but I do believe in experimenting. So this is this yellow that I can't pronounce, and I'm just going to come down here with this yellow, and this is drying out very quickly. It's probably because I've got the kerosene heater on, and in Japan in winter time it's very dry, so with that kind of heater too, it gets super dry. There we go. Totally overdid it, but I'm happy about that, because you've got to push it. And this side now looks too weak, so I'm going to get some darker paint, and I'm going to redo that with the darker paint. Not dark enough. Blue and red. Blue and red. This is really thick, but as soon as it touches this wet mix, it's going to become more watery. Okay, there we go. And then I might do the tree here. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to be cautious. It's not a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to use this yellow ochre here. It's a bit dirty, and I'm really going to try and get some runs and blooms here. Oh, I've just looked at that tree and it really needs to be a bit darker at the bottom here. I don't know why it got lighter, but there you go. Darken it. Okay. And just a little bit up there. Oh, it's not bad. Yeah. Okay. And then my grey mix. And yeah, I always forget to do this, but I need to leave space down here for the grass. So there's grass at the bottom here that the sunlight is catching, and I need to leave some little things here, all kinds of little bits and bobs. It can be so difficult to paint loosely. Well, for me, anyway. Okay, and then that's a dark mix. Just want to put a few darks in here. Not too many. Spray it. And then down here, let's put some shade here for these long grasses. And I'm being too careful. So let's just add some pure water. Woo. Here. Just splatter. And try and loosen it up a bit. And I might even add just a little bit of some shadows here. Looked a little bit empty there, too empty. Okay. This yellow is lovely though, isn't it? It's just beautiful colour. It's not quite glowing as much as this. I think it's because on the multimedia paper the paint doesn't get absorbed as much as it does on the quality stuff, and one of the benefits of that is the colour looks far more brilliant. Now I could be wrong about that, it's just something I think is happening there. Okay, let's do these rocks. So this is going to be a mix of a blue and a red and some more blue. Oh yeah, and a touch of yellow. That's what I needed. That gives a really good grey. That's what I needed for the grey up here. Okay, well there you go. Then do these rocks. You just got to enjoy it and flow with it. And then I'm making it a bit watery, and I'm going to do some lovely lines across now. Oh, and reflections of these stones. And you see, it didn't matter going over them in yellow because it's all hidden now. Although there's a touch of that yellow coming through there. Can you see that? Because watercolour is transparent, and that's quite interesting really. Yeah, it really does give you beautiful lines, this brush. So I hope you're seeing that. And then sometimes do long ones and then little short ones like that. I forgot to do that. I forgot to do the short ones. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty good. I just have to worry about the video length now. Okay, now that actually looks fairly nice. Maybe it's a little bit boring. This edge could be a bit more exciting, but there you go. I might just do this. It's not going to make a world of difference, but that edge, maybe it should have been a bit more undulating, more up and down. Okay, so now I'm going to use my liner brush and I'm going to do a tree here. Just get some of this thick mix. Okay, so maybe about here. The first few strokes are the tricky ones, I think. Then normally after that, if you get that right, the basic structure, then I think normally it tends to work. And you can go a bit crazy like this, which I really enjoy. We don't want that mark there though. Finger, I often use my finger as an eraser. It's very, very effective. And I'm just doing this because although it's not really natural or whatever, it just plants this tree into the field. I should do that with this actually. There we go. Yeah. And then let's do this bit. Oh, I'm quite happy with it. So this needs to be brown, so that means for the tree trunk, so that means a lot of yellow ochre. But it needs to be a bit darker than that. I might just mess this up a bit. It's because it's at that point there now where you shouldn't touch it. So let's go and touch it. Let's just go and really mess it up so we get hopefully some interesting textures. See, what you want really more than anything else is an interesting painting, really. Okay, if we add blue, it becomes kind of grey. Let's add some red. It becomes a bit more browny. I think that will do. Yeah, I think that will do. So, might even put a few of this, some of this in here. But that's enough. Maybe too much. And then I do a bit more. Okay. Stop. So, here we go. Our tree. Wow, it's big, isn't it? Try and get some dry brush there. And then these first few marks, they're so important. And really, okay, here we go. Need a branch coming out, leading us into the picture. Goodness me. That's one crazy branch I've just painted. It looks more like some Harry Potter's magic wand or something. Oh dear. Well, there you go. Make this a bit thicker. And this is where we're asking ourselves, has he gone and botched it? And the answer is possibly. Possibly. No, I don't think Don't think it's okay yet. Yeah, maybe that's a bit better. Okay, yeah, I don't think it's such a great shape, but if we put a load of branches on it, we can hide. We can hide stuff. Wow, look at that. That was too thick. Ooh, and that too. Does it work? Maybe, I'm not sure. And I didn't want to paint just here because I wanted to soften that. I was going to get some water, put it over this and soften it. I'll do a bit of it and then you can see what I'm talking about. Let's do the shadow. Wow, how am I doing for time? 17 minutes. Okay, I've been filming this clip. Okay, so shadows, yellow ochre. I'm going to do a yellow ochre shadow, pure yellow ochre. And I'm trying to capture here these little branches and stuff, and there might be another tree here with some lines, just a few, and even another one here. There we go, and that's enough. And then some dribs and drabs and stuff. Okay, maybe that's it. That's enough. Oh yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks quite nice. Okay, and then over here what I was going to do, and I can't really do it here now because I don't want to soften these branches, but I was going to wet my brush in pure water, clean it, wipe it, and then here just do this. Maybe I can do a bit. And I think this is the finishing touch. And then I think that's enough, but if you want you can get a tissue, but be careful. Depending on your paper and how wet it is, you could end up taking out a lot of this paint, and you don't want to do that. So the tissue is like heavy artillery. It can leave a big impact that you don't want, and I'm just delicately pressing down, but you could just use the brush like this. This is maybe the safest thing. Softly like that, and then you clean it because you might have picked up some paint, wipe it on some tissue, and then using the now dry brush just do that. And hopefully it softened it a bit. I'm not sure if it did. Maybe a little. Yeah, so you can see how I do things, Mr. Heavy-handed, but there you go. Oh, so I'm really quite happy with that, and I think we've finished. So there you go. Have a go, have some fun, and I'm now going to do video number 3, and what I'm going to do in this is a snow scene, and I'm going to do basically the same scene but with snow on the ground. So I hope you join me for that, and I hope you have some fun and learn something.